Moments in our lives that are etched into the very fabric of our being. A year ago, a decade ago, or maybe even in the recesses of a lifetime ago, someone or something inflicted a wound on our spirit. We may occasionally have whispered to ourselves that it never really happened, but deep down in our soul, we know that it did. It exists, not as a mere event, but as a mark on our consciousness. In our attempts to remove this ghost from our inner sanctum, we sometimes try to use denial in the hope of erasing its existence from the record of our lives. However, denial can be a fragile dam because the truth, like a relentless river, continues to seep through the gaps. Sometimes it manifests itself at the most unexpected and embarrassing moments, like a silent scream from within. In the depths of your being, you recognize that something happened at that moment, something that remains indescribable in its clarity. You can almost point the finger at the source, the individual who inadvertently became the catalyst for this transformation. What once seemed like a trivial pain, like a small stain, has since frozen in the crucible of your mind. It's there, a silent sentinel, a burden you carry. You want to let it go, free yourself from its weight, but it holds on with a firmness that defies reason. The pain inflicted was deep, and at times you may have despaired, believing it was impossible to transcend. But let me reassure you, dear friend, that this is not the case. For in the folds of our past resides the potential for transformation and growth. It is by recognizing and traversing the terrain of these hurts that we discover our true resilience. These wounds, once treated, become seeds of wisdom, compassion, and strength. They are the crucible through which we refine our souls. To ignore these wounds is to deny the richness of our human experience, for they have the power to shape our destiny. If they are not addressed, they can sow the seeds of suffering in our lives. But when confronted with courage and compassion, they can become catalysts for deep healing and profound growth. So, dear friend, I implore you not to see these wounds as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for spiritual growth. When we embrace even our wounds, we open the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The burdens of the past need not define our future. You, me, and all of us possess the inner strength to overcome them and create a life full of resilience and grace. In our journey through life, we are confronted with painful experiences. How we choose to navigate these emotional trials becomes a fundamental decision, which has repercussions on every facet of our existence. Will we allow this pain to become an anchor, weighing us down and distorting our very essence? Or should we embark on a path of transformation, extracting wisdom and growth from the depths of our pain? In our spiritual journey, it is essential to remember that God doesn't want us to be shackled by our wounds, losing our inner light and the strength of our testimony. The divine wisdom, the remedy prescribed by the great doctor, is this: when hurt ignites within us, it often turns into anger. If not controlled, this anger can ferment and turn into a bitter venom that corrupts our hearts and changes our very nature. This transformation, this hardening of the heart, influences our choices, relationships, and responses. It blinds us to trust, fills us with insecurity, and even leads us to hurt others with our words. It stains our interactions, leaving us perpetually cautious and suspicious, planting the seeds of discord and misunderstanding. However, the great doctor offers a balsam for this wounded soul: forgiveness. The prescription is clear and resolute. To heal, we must learn to extend kindness and compassion to one another. It is not a superficial and passing act, but a deep journey within ourselves. Forgiveness is the key to unlocking the chains that bind us to past hurts. It's an arduous process, I know. Depending on the depth of the wound, it can be agonizing. I empathize with your pain, as I have also felt the weight of it. But I ask you to reflect on it and try to apply this process. because it is an invitation to a higher state of being. It's an opportunity to transcend the wounds that threaten to define us. By forgiving, we release the power that the pain previously exerted over us. We recover our inner light, and our testimony becomes a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It is a profound process with transformative potential, which invites you to free yourself from the burdens that hold your heart back. In essence, forgiveness is a powerful antidote that unravels the threads of hurt, anger, and bitterness, gradually softening the boundaries of your soul and redefining the very essence of our existence. Forgiveness is a concept that is not easy to discuss, but if you commit to walking this path, it will shift the trajectory of your life. Forgiveness doesn't mean tolerating or justifying the actions of those who caused you pain. I'm not saying that what they did was acceptable. Far from it. Let's be clear. Forgiving someone doesn't absolve them of responsibility. God assures us that justice is within His hands and that there are consequences for those who harm His children. Forgiveness is not a guarantee of reconciliation or an invitation to carry on as if nothing had happened. Instead, it is a release from the shackles of resentment and a step towards emotional freedom. The essence of forgiveness resides in refusing to return evil for evil, choosing instead to walk the path of justice in the eyes of all. It's a commitment to peace wherever possible, as far as it depends on you. Until you can wholeheartedly renounce your inclination to punish the one who has offended you, forgiveness will remain incomplete. It's not a passing feeling or empty words. It's a profound change in your inner landscape. It's a profound concept that goes beyond justifying or excusing someone's actions. It is not about forgetting, denying, or minimizing the pain we have endured. Instead, forgiveness is a deliberate and voluntary act of abandoning the heavy burden of debt owed to you because of the harm that was inflicted. It is a conscious choice to free ourselves from resentment and no longer blame our transgressions. But it's crucial to understand that forgiveness doesn't automatically fix everything between you and the person who hurt you. We can't control their response to our forgiveness. That responsibility is solely theirs. Each person is responsible for their own actions and reactions. Once you have granted forgiveness, you must also accept it as final. It is at this point that the healing process can really begin in your own life. Think about it. Is it worth holding on to a grudge, bitterness, or resentment? The price we pay for emotional and spiritual well-being is simply too high. I honestly believe it's not worth it. The healing begins with letting go. You may be wondering how to release a hurt that you may not even want to get over, but the first step is to trust it to the divine. Allow Him to bear the weight of your pain, to deal with it with His divine grace. Unload your burden on Him, for He is the ultimate healer. Trust in His wisdom and love to guide you through the process of forgiveness. It is a transformative journey, offering us the opportunity to regain our inner peace and experience the profound liberation that forgiveness brings. This act of surrender is a profound step on the healing journey. It means your decision to let go of the pain inflicted on you by someone else, or, in some cases, the pain you have inflicted on yourself. It is a step towards receiving the forgiveness that God extends to you. So remember, your past doesn't define your future. You can overcome the pain that remains in your history to embrace the destiny that the divine has planned for you. So release the shackles of the past, even if it involves forgiving others or even forgiving yourself. Some find it difficult to extend forgiveness to themselves, believing that past mistakes are unforgivable. However, the scriptures tell us that where sin abounded, grace abounded. So the key is to leave the past behind, to stop allowing it to determine the course of our lives. Two timeless sayings resonate here. Until you let the past die, it won't let your future live. And forgiveness doesn't make them right. It only makes them free. Forgiveness is not an endorsement of the transgressor's actions, nor does it imply that you should allow it back into your life to hurt you again. It means freeing yourself from the prison of past hurts and offenses. Sometimes we encounter moments when we are tempted to hide our struggles, to pretend that we have everything under control, as if we were immune to the trials and tribulations of this world. However, it is vital to resist this temptation and remember that none of us is exempt from life's challenges, for it is through our scars that we can also truly reveal the transformative power that resides within us. These scars become a testimony to the miraculous power of our healing. They tell a story about what happened, how dire the situation seemed, and how remarkably it was restored. We often long for a complete restoration, for a life so perfect that no one would ever suspect we were facing difficulties. We want our families, relationships, and lives to seem perfect, untouched by adversity. But why should we hide our scars? These scars bear witness to what we have overcome. They are not emblems of shame, but emblems of triumph. Some people need to witness the evidence of past struggles in order to believe in the power of transformation. So let's stop hiding our scars, but rather wear them as badges of honor. Our scars signify the battles we have faced, the wounds we have healed, and the grace that has sustained us. It often seems that God can work more powerfully through those who have resisted the storms of life than through those who have had a seemingly perfect journey. Why, you may ask? It's because facing challenges can instill in us a deep well of compassion, a unique ability to empathize with other people who are going through difficulties. That's not to say that God can't use those whose paths have been smoother, for He can certainly work through anyone. But for many of us, the difficulties we face have become a canvas on which God paints His masterpiece. Every difficult circumstance, every setback, every mistake, all these elements become part of a grand design, orchestrated by a loving Creator. In the sacred pages of the Bible, we find a promise that resounds with hope. He works all things together for our good. This promise teaches us that the divine can take even the most challenging, painful, or unjust situations and turn them into something beautiful. It's a promise worth pondering deeply. Look, it doesn't matter whether the circumstances were the result of our own mistakes or something inflicted on us by someone else. What really matters is the posture of our heart.